confirmed. Okay, so last time we worked on uh, okay, async await. Okay, so these three processes are most important when we work with the uh, JavaScript. Okay, so
Okay.
this is the basically last we did um, TypeScript part, TypeScript to JavaScript, and what type of JavaScript is required. Basically, when we are work on JavaScript or front-end programming, so basically most of the times we are getting this kind of promise return type function, and promise returns basically worked on when we are calling third-party API files. So that time, most of the times, promiser working for us. So these promise functions actually currently these promise functions we have already. Okay, so uh, today class is 6, class number 6. So this time we have some promise functions, pre-built promise functions already we have. So if we want to get some data from any API or any files, so now we have a function which called fetch. Do you know about fetch?
No, no, sir.
Okay, so this is the fetch function, and this fetch function exactly same which we are written before. So
Okay.
this is the fetch data. Okay, this fetch data uh, is almost same like function which is are actually worked here. Load docs, and this load docs function return the promise, and this fetch function actually built by uh, JavaScript developers uh, internally, and when they generate response, and that response are actually comes out with the promise object. Okay, and it
Okay.
is the actually things if we are need to set any data uh, to in our front end, so like div uh, id equal to app. If we want to set data into
Okay.
this, and then we need to be uh, get the data. So just here we have so many possibilities. So basically we want to get data. So last time we merge two datas, uh, other different APIs calling, right? So
Yes.
this was the two API calling we did, and after that we use that data for merging. So
Yes.
this was the process which we are did last class. So I just copy
Yes.
this uh, uh, code. Copy this code. Basically, I never repeated same code. I do not want to repeat the same code. So basically, for that particular purpose, I just simply fetch data function. Actually, we can use this function directly, fetch data function, uh, copy and paste here. And if I use copy and paste, and after that, this is the id app, and it had also you can see app. Now here we are getting in the load doc uh, option. Okay, but this time we
Okay.
did not have any load doc option. Basically, load docs is there. We are build it. We was building like this. Okay, previously, but at this moment, I I'm not interested to make this function repeat only. So this time I just simply change this part with the fetch. Simply fetch. Okay,
Okay.
just use only fetch. And when I use
Okay.
fetch, and this fetch data actually return a response, but exactly what we want the data, that actually if I want some data by the fetch, so first we need to be understand what type of fetch are actually working here. So just comment out the function which I write before. So basically here I just we need to be see first what is the fetch function and how it works. So basically if we wanted to use any promise return type function, so better for the better performance always we can use async await syntax for simplified the uh, promise call.
Okay.
So now I just use async 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 function, and it's called uh, check data, not fetch data. Basically this time I want to check the fetch API actually. So
Okay.
this time I just use the response, and now I just use the fetch. Okay, just I use this fetch, and if I use the fetch, just log here and paste it here for response days. And now I wanted to see into the browser. Okay, so this particular page I run on live server, and after it go live server, then we can see the output what happening here. Basically we just give the outputs in the console, but we calling it sorry we declaring it, but not call, we are not called it. So we need to call it first, and once we call, then we can see the response. So did you see, first
Yes.
thing we get a response, and when we get response, so here I have so many response type data like body use, header, okay, redirected. So many options are given by the response, which is
Okay.
not available in our own API. Basically when we are use the own API here, so that time we are not sending this kind of data from our custom made response which I built previously
Okay.
in the previous class. But in this time, if we are use the native fetch API, this is the actually native part of the browser, and it is also part of JavaScript. So when I use this fetch function, and after that we can get the output like this. But
Okay.
we get already all the response, but if we get the response data, so this response data is readable stream. So basically thing is, it is this data actually not a concrete form, it is actually stream form. Streamable data means it is kind of uh, synchronous data and live data format, we could say. Basically, uh, if we check the uh, share market stock, and every time we check without refreshing our page, uh, sometimes price up and down, we are seen lively, right?
Okay. Okay.
And without refresh we can see it in the browser uh, quickly.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the process which called stream data. Okay,
Okay.
and this stream data comes from various way. Basically it's a use the socket programming mainly
Okay.
for this kind of data generation and data consume purpose. But in JavaScript format it have inbuilt features.
Okay.
Okay, and currently in modern programming, every modern programming have similar kind of things. But if you wanted to do it by uh, .NET and uh, .NET or Java programming language, so that time you need to be use this kind of streamable things. Thread can be do this kind of process uh, for uh, socket programming. But in the JavaScript, thread programming does not require directly, but uh, in JavaScript, this kind of synchronous data can consume or produce quickly. Uh, it's uh, it's a by nature of
Okay.
JavaScript.
Okay.
Okay, so this time we are getting this data as readable stream format. So when we get this data as readable format, so we need to be reset this data. So then time we just use the res, which is the our response data object, and after that we actually converted it with the JSON. So it's JSON. Basically thing is, when we get the response object and we have inbuilt object function which is converted our data to JSON format. So this is the response data format, and after we get the response data format, we are actually get the actual proper data which is get from the API.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our API data which is are coming through this way. Basically
Okay.
first process is fetch, and second process is, this is the second process. If we want to do it in a single line, so we have another way to get the data, like then, and we can use it like this. Okay, so basically then is a promise function, promise object function. So we are get the data, so then we get a response, and that response are return a JSON data, and after that we can check that data format directly with this way through the response, and we can get that data directly through the response in a single line.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the process where we can write two lines of data, two lines of data process which you want to consume, and if you want on single line, then we can use this particular process. And if we get any kind of error, then we can use try catch process to get the error format quickly. So it is the basic part of our and data fetching with the native JavaScript fetch API, or
Okay.
fetch function. So this is the process, and after that we are actually write it before to get our data, and without written our own functions, just use this, and then we can use this thing every line. And once I read this, we can see our data output maybe come here directly. Okay, so actually I just declaring this fetch function here, but we are not called here. So now we need to use call this function, and after this calling, what kind of problem is here? uh, Object JSON is not valid. Okay, so line number 42 have made some problem. Oh, not error problem actually. It's give a some error process, which kind of error we are facing. So this is the O token
Okay.
unexpected O. What is the unexpected O token? Okay. So first we need to understand
User response is already in JSON, right? So is that the issue?
yes, actually we already okay. Actually thing is yes, correctly we get the data as response data. So basically this particular things does not required to parse the JSON. So just we directly we can use the data as JSON here, and then we can see all the data directly here.
Okay.
Basically when this response are generated, so already this data converted into JSON format.
Yes.
Before we get the data as string mode, and after that we convert that JSON with this particular process. But this time we directly get the data as JSON format, so we did not uh, need to convert the data as JSON. Just we assign the data, and then our previous process are work fine.
Yes.
So this is the way which is the thing I we can use for the get data options. Okay, this is the basic
Okay.
API, and in this fetch API can work uh, in JavaScript for frontend or backend both section, but sometimes this fetch API have some limitations. Basically, some limitations means when we are calling third party, when we are calling third party, actually not third party, actually if we are using some kind of um, token to access the data. Basically maybe you know about bearer token. Did you know about bearer token?
No, no.
Okay, bearer token means basically if you have I think you listen about the end-to-end encryptions.
Yes.
Okay, so end-to-end encryption, what does mean end-to-end encryption? Hello.
It's, yeah, it's from a request to response, it's encrypted.
Okay, so basically when we are chat over there, so end-to-end encryption means if we send any data, that data will be encrypted until you are not received that data.
Okay.
Basically when you check that data, that is readable. When I send that data, that is readable. But in between, anyone get that data and try to temper that data, that time they cannot do that.
Okay.
It is the basics of end-to-end encryption, and end-to-end encryption not properly secure. It's a concept, but these concepts are very much usable into the industry standard. Okay,
Okay.
And in this end-to-end encryptions actually we can get from the JWT token. Do you know about JWT token?